Imagine a vacation where every detail is tailored just for you. That's the Dream Vacations and Rentals by PMI difference. We're not just another rental company. We're your personal vacation curators focused on you, our guest. From hand-picked properties to curated local experiences, we craft personalized journeys. Our marketing reaches you with the perfect options, matching your unique travel style. With Dream Vacations and Rentals by PMI, your perfect getaway is just a click away. Visit our website to book your dream vacation today and experience the PMI difference.
All right, my beautiful people, welcome to the What Hustle channel, where we ride, we hustle, we repeat. Today, what we're going to be doing today is Bob and I are going to be talking about the $1,000 challenge in the month of December. Now, I'm going to let Bob talk about the challenge itself because he's the one. It was his idea, and he's the one that motivated to do it, to get me to do it. So without further ado, Bob, first of all, introduce yourself and tell us about this challenge.
Hey guys, it's Bob from Growing Young After 50. So the one thing that everybody always says is how money's tight for Christmas, especially when they have kids. And we've all been there, especially when you're younger. Well, I've got a little experience now, being a little bit older. So I decided that what's the best way to help people out? Set a goal. Get them to set a goal. We talked about in our first video. So let's do $1,000. $1,000, 21 days. That's only $48 a day. So if you can get out and you can DoorDash or you can Uber Eats or you can go mow lawns or shovel snow or whatever you can do for a couple hours each day and just stay consistent, you can have a nice Christmas for you and your family. Or if you don't need it, you can plan for a vacation in January. You can, get a hold of Fernando for one of his vacations.
That's right. So
I have to admit, I can't lie. I got the idea from two different creators. One was Pedro DoorDash Santiago. Years ago, he came up with this and told everybody that they should set aside X amount of time, and he did it in like September. He was like 2 days a week for so many, and you'll get $1,000. And I completely forgot about it. But then Wilser did his No Rest November with his $10,000 goal. And that was crazy. I was like, wow, this guy, he's on it. And
I watched every one of his videos.
I did too. Every minute.
Yeah. On his 10,000.
And he finished, I think, I don't want to say, but I don't want to give it away. Watch and see what he finished at.
Yeah, no, it was extremely impressive what he did. But I'm going to give my take as to why I did this challenge. And I said this on my day one video that I did this morning because I started a day late. I started my challenge today. But the interesting part is that for the past, I would say 7 to 8 years, I have always used the month of December to propel me into 2026, meaning I use December to really double down and hustle and try to outbeat my competition because I know the majority of people are resting or they're just struggling to get organized and prepare for the holidays. The holidays for a lot of people is extremely stressful.
Yes.
And I used it as an advantage from a business perspective so that I can start off 2026 on the right foot. In fact, most people use January as their resolution month, but I use December because I want December, again, to get me going into 2026. So there's, for us, in my culture, and a lot of Puerto Ricans believe that how you finish the year is how the rest of the year is going to be. So same thing with New Year's. Like whatever you're doing on New Year's Eve, that's what you're probably going to be doing throughout the following year. So that's why for me, it's all about the hustle. So that's why when I heard you talk about it, and because I was already seeing Wilson, I was getting motivated by him and some of these other guys killing it in November and talking about what to do in December, I said, hey, I got to jump on this challenge. So it's this is today was your second day, right?
Today was day 2 for me. Yeah, because I started on the 1st. I thought of this like last minute. I'm like, man, this was horrible planning. I should have done this earlier.
Well, listen, I sometimes like things to be very spontaneous because sometimes they work out better. Because if we had pre-planned this, it probably would not have worked out. So
we would have found excuses not to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So let's talk about your first day. What was your strategy? How much money did you make, etc.?
All right. So my first day was interesting because I had taken off Monday from my regular 9-to-5 job, and I intended to go out and do some DoorDash. And I was quite honestly, I was just going to do earn by time to rack up some deliveries because I lost my platinum status because I hadn't been doing DoorDash for a while. I've been doing a lot of Uber Eats. Well, earn by time wasn't available. So I said, all right, whatever. I'll just do some earn by offer. And I made like $20. Wasn't anything special. It was only like an hour and a half. I was out for lunchtime. But I made about $20 with Uber Eats as well during my lunch. So I'm like, okay, that's a pretty good start of the day. All right, so let's see what we're going to get. Actually, it was $32. I remember because I had $52 at the end of my lunch. And I was like, well, I already hit my goal for the day. So I decided about halfway through, I actually pulled over into the parking lot while I was waiting for an order. And that's when I recorded the short and intro to say, let's do this challenge. And you like right away, I don't even know if it was up for 5 minutes. And you're like, yep, I'm in. And I was like, all right, cool. So that was cool. Then I came home, did a couple things around the house, everything, and said, well, tomorrow, meaning today, we're supposed to have a really bad day weather-wise, potentially. It ended up not being as bad as they predicted because they were talking we could get inches of snow. We just got a lot of freezing rain and sleet. So I'm like, let me go out, see if I can run those numbers up a little bit and get my delivery count up a little bit as well. Then I looked at my phone and Uber was running a quest. And it was crazy. I ended up getting $47 just in bonus money from Uber Eats last night. I ended up doing $20.75 in DoorDash and $115.24 for Uber Eats for a total of $135.99 on a Monday night.
Wow.
It was crazy. Now, that's a unicorn night. I do not get nights like that. And it wasn't working 8 hours. I think I did, like I said, about 2 hours on lunch and about, just over 3 hours for dinner. Because I didn't start the quest for Uber is 5 to 9. I didn't start the quest to almost 6 o'clock.
I want to touch on that in a second, but I think it's important that before we continue, because I forgot to ask this in the beginning, like I know the rules I'm going to set for myself, but what rules and guidelines are you setting for yourself during this challenge?
My biggest thing is I want to be consistent being out there every day. So having that big day yesterday gives me a cushion because I know you had said that you have a couple of days, you have scheduled days off, we'll call them. I don't know that I have any scheduled days off, but I'm getting married in a little over a month. So there's always going to be stuff I have to do and step away, but my biggest thing is I want to be consistent. I'm cheating compared to you because I'm using my car because I just can't do it in the weather right now.
Yeah, for you.
I'm going to try to do at least one bike shift each week though. I'm going to try to just force myself to do it. And if I don't do it, maybe I'll up the amount I have to do. Because on a normal night for me, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and we'll even say Thursday, I'm only going to get that $15 to $20 an hour because we're very flooded here, saturated with drivers. If I can catch the bonuses or I can get the peak times, I can obviously do better. But I think maybe I'll reevaluate after this week, and we'll keep in touch. But maybe I'll up my personal goal. Maybe I'll do like 1250 or something like that, just to make it a little bit more challenging for me personally. Because if I have 3 days a week at $135, this is going to be nothing for me.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to give you my rules and my set rules for this, because I really want it to be a little bit of a challenge. So my rules is, number one, it is I want to make it so it's kind of realistic for people to hop on this, people that have a full-time job, right? It's an extra.
That's me.
Extra $1,000. So for me is I'm going to dash for a maximum of 4 hours, but I'm going to try to stick to that 3-hour mark, right? So, and I'm going to do it in the morning, stay consistent with what I've always done, because I get really busy throughout the day. So I'm just going to do it in the mornings, and I'm just going to do it for a maximum of 4 hours, which in my market, it still should not be super challenging, with the caveat there is that I need to take some days off. If I can go straight, 20 days straight, it won't be super difficult. But because I'm taking 2 to 3 days off, then it becomes difficult, because then in that 2-hour mark, in that 2-hour window or 2 to 3 hour window that I'm going to be dashing, I have to average about $25 an hour. So that's if I do it for 2 hours, I'll hit my $50 mark. But I can't have any bumps in the road. So I'm going to, just to be on the safe side, that's why I'm going to extend it to maybe 4 hours. And I have to make up that time, because if we do the math, it's about, and I only do, instead of the 20 days, I only do 17 days, and I gotta do about $75 and $75 a few days in there, so I can make up for what was missing. We got a couple of people in the chat, and I am in. I gotta check out. Bob, if you get a chance, just answer. If there's any questions that you see, just answer the questions while I'm talking, and I'll do the same. Because I think I'm on my wrong channel. So I'm pretty sure I am in the wrong channel. I got to figure out how to get into my Hustle channel. But anyways.
I like the 4 hour thing though. Maybe I'll limit, like, if I say I do decide to work all day on a Saturday, maybe I'll just say, okay, I'm only going to do the dinner, whatever I make in the dinner shift applies.
Well, here's my recommendation. My recommendation is stick to what you had planned, and give yourself that window. Like if you're on day 15th, you already made your $1,000. Keep going.
Yeah. Obviously. But I mean, as far as to try and keep it relatively equal, for example, like I said, if I go out Saturday and I get up Saturday morning, I go out and I do 3 hours, and then I go and do a little bit in the afternoon, and then I go out and do dinner, I'm potentially going to make $200 that day. And that's, if I just say, okay, I'm still going to take that money, I'm still going to go out and do it. But as far as the challenge goes, I'm just going to look at it, and I have a little spreadsheet, and I'm just keeping track of it. I'll just put what I make between dinner rush, like 5 to 9.
Gotcha.
So I'm still going to go and make the money and still take it. That's what I think. I had a line in my video yesterday that said, they're giving free money away, and I said, oh, don't get me wrong, I'm taking it.
No, I hear you. So, all right, so that's cool. We'll do that. And then one other housekeeping note for those that are watching, those that are going to watch this on replay, we're going to try to do this at the end of every week, just to give a progress report as to where we are. Bob, I'm sure you're going to do maybe a daily? Or what's your plan? Are you going to do a daily?
I was originally going to try and do daily uploads, but I don't know that I'm going to have time to do that. So I think we're just going to try and do daily shorts.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's going to be easier for me to do.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to do daily shorts. I will do maybe 1 or 2 throughout the week, a longer form.
Yeah.
But
And I'm also going to put the post on my post section, but I'll put screenshots of what I made.
Yeah.
And that way it's there.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And then, like I said, we'll try to get on a live once towards the end of the week. We'll, whatever day is convenient for you, let me know.
It may be better for us to do the beginning of the week.
But, yeah, to start
because you don't want to take away from your money days.
Yeah, so let's maybe we'll hop on like a Monday night.
Yeah, Monday night, Tuesday night, something like that.
Yeah, no,
whatever works.
I don't want to compete with Monday Night Football, so let's do it Tuesday night.
That works.
Yeah, and we'll give a progress report. We'll see where we're at, and yeah, we'll see where we end up in 21 days.
Yeah.
But what apps are you going to be using while you're doing this?
Uber Eats and DoorDash. I have Grubhub too, but I mean, I think I might have made. I don't know if I made $200 all year on Grubhub. I just don't. It doesn't hit very much here, and when it hits really good, but it just doesn't hit very much.
I'm with you. I screwed up, and I think I said this in one of the videos. When I got on Grubhub, because first of all, it took me a while to get on Grubhub. There was a big waiting list. When I finally got on, I made the mistake of not looking at the rules and the policies, etc. And I didn't realize that they kind of pay you for time. So they give you a set amount if
you schedule, right?
Yeah, if you schedule it, right? If you schedule it, whatever time you're there, they're going to pay you for the entire time, whether you get an order or not. I didn't know that. So I was I had Uber Eats, DoorDash, and Grubhub on, but my priority has always been DoorDash is the busiest for me. So I may have 2 orders, and the Grubhub order came in, and because it was on the opposite side of where I was going, I was declining it, not realizing that I can't do that. They don't allow you to do that because they're going to pay you regardless. So I ended up, and I was wondering why at the end of the day I saw money amounts in my. I wasn't putting two to two together until I get the notice you just got kicked off from scheduling the ability to schedule your dashes. And I read the policy. I'm like, what a dumbass. And you're right. When they did come in, there were good offers.
The problem I have with the way that it's set up in our area is, I mean, I literally say the zone is like this. I live right here.
Yeah.
And most of my orders for DoorDash are like this, right? So I have a choice. Most of the Grubhub orders are way over here, or I have to switch zones. You have to go and apply, and they're way over here. So I live on the edge of the zone, but no orders come here. So I have to drive, 15, 20 minutes, and they don't have a dedicated bike mode.
Wow.
So in here, Uber Eats, I tried their dedicated bike mode, and I was still getting orders 10, 12, 13 miles away. I had to reset my account completely to just Uber Eats on a car.
Wow.
Yep, I completely reset it.
Yeah. It's funny because every market is a little bit different. I had a conversation with Andy over from Raspy Rides, and he's a huge fan of Grubhub, and I'm like, it really doesn't play out well down here,
I think if over in the city, if I was to go into Philadelphia, it might be a different story. But I was trying to explain this to somebody. So I said, why don't you go to Philly? And I said, for me to go to Philadelphia, only 15 minutes away from Center City, and it's always busy there. For me to go to Philadelphia, though, I either have to take my car, put my bike on my car, drive down to the Ben Franklin Bridge, park at the Camden Aquarium, which is $10 a day, to park because you don't want to leave your car unattended in Camden. It's just not a good area to leave your car. Maybe for a little while, but not for a full day. Ride across the bridge. Well, that's actually fun. That's not a big deal. That's something we did. That's fun. Or you have to drive into the city, which means you also have to pay a $6 bridge toll now. And then you have to find a place to park over there. My cousin got married on Black Friday in downtown, and we paid $28 to park for 4 hours.
Wow.
I'm $34 in before I even took an order. It's just not worth it for me. If I had to do it full time, like if something happened, God forbid, I lost my job, and I'm like, okay, I have to do this full time right now, maybe I'll rethink that. But it's just not worth it.
Yeah, I know. I hear you, because when you're in the hole, $30-something. I mean, that's half an hour to an hour of work already. You're in the hole. Yeah. So yeah, I get it. This is one of the reasons why I've never been a fan of especially when you're in a city, a big city like New York City, Philly. I've never been a fan of doing gig work in a car. I just don't see it being viable unless you're dashing for 10, 12 hours a day.
It's not. Even then, it's not. Because what are you going to make? If you're in a car with traffic, you're going to make $15 an hour because you're just not going to be able to do runs. Right. If you're on a bike or a scooter or something like that, yeah, it's great. But the problem is, I can't, like, if I lived like right at the base of the bridge, sure, I would just ride the bike over. But I have to find a secure spot to park, take my bike off, then go over, and it's just not worth it. If I knew somebody over there that I could leave my car at their house, then yeah, that's great. But anywhere that you're going to want to work, people don't live because it's all businesses.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about strategy. What strategies you're gonna like? Give us three of your top tips on maximizing your revenue.
So my market, well, first be on time to start. If I want to get those 4 hours, make sure I'm there 2 minutes beforehand. Turn your apps on when you're at the restaurants. I used to get in the habit of turning my apps on the way to the restaurants, but then like there's a Tommy's Tavern, which is a nice restaurant. If I want to get an order from Tommy's, and I know it's going to probably pay more, it's not a fast food. Will's had a great line. If you go to fast food, you're going to make fast food money.
Right.
If you go to restaurants, you're going to make restaurant money. Well, if I turn my app on when I leave my house and I'm driving there, I'm going to get dinged for fast food. So then I have to think about it. Oh, do I want to take the hit on the acceptance? Yeah, occasionally you're going to get a good order. Occasionally you'll get one that goes the way you want it to go. But no. So first thing is turn your apps on when you get there on time. Treat it as a job while you're there for those 2, 3, 4 hours. Right. Don't treat it as, because that's what we're doing right now. We're focusing on the challenge. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to treat it like that. I'm going to make sure I'm on time. I'm there. I'm going to not clock out early. If I hit my goal and I'm exhausted, maybe, but I'm not going to clock out early and say, oh, I'm only $5 short. Nope, that's $5. Go get another order.
Right.
Then I'm going to keep DoorDash on. I'm probably going to utilize Earn by Time with DoorDash, and only because in our area, it is way more profitable. The volume of orders you get here is just, let's say there's 100 orders to go around, there's 100 drivers. And there's when you get that, the tips, you know how it is. The tips are up and down, up and down. There's no base pay. We already know that. So because I'm in the car, I can take the extra 2 miles where I wouldn't take it on the bike. And the base pay is higher. Now, I will tell you that I actually looked this up. Out of my last 50 Earn by Time orders, I only had 5 that were no tip.
Gotcha.
And 3 were in a row.
Wow.
And because I was like, wow, I'm actually doing pretty good. There's a creator, I don't know if you're familiar with them, Travel JB.
Travel JB, yeah, I think
he's actually in the Westchester area, right on the other side of Philadelphia, and he's in the car. Well, right after I posted up my challenge, he dropped the video. He upped us big time, and he didn't even know about us. $100,000 challenge.
Oh, I saw him. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. In fact, I commented on it. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah. And
I saw that and I was like, oh my God. But he actually confirmed my belief. He only does earn by time. And it's just our market, it's just better. Because even if you have to drive a little bit extra, your dollar per mile is still more. It's so weird. Now I don't do it. I tried it on the bike. I couldn't get anything. I actually got 2 offers and they were like 9 miles away. I'm like, what? Like, so I was like, okay, I'm not doing that anymore. And I mean, at one point, I think my best week, I was platinum. I find that once you're platinum, your acceptance rate is irrelevant. Your completion rate, the higher your completion rate, the better orders you get.
Yeah.
And I didn't think it was true. And I was like, all right, let me just try it. And I got my completion rate up to 100 and I kept it there for a week without, like, didn't matter what it was. I was waiting for an order or I was getting a worry free unassigned. And it seemed like my average dollar per order, I don't want to say it doubled, but it probably went up 50%. It probably went, instead of a $10 per delivery, I was getting $15 a delivery. And that's substantial when you're talking about over a whole week.
Oh yeah, it is.
And then
100%.
my third thing is I'm taking advantage of every one of those Uber quests that's up there. If they're up there, that's free money.
All right, talk about that. I've never even heard of it. I'm not.
Okay.
So
Uber has a thing. If you go onto anybody who has Uber Eats, they have under the menu, they have opportunities tab. And under the opportunities tab, you'll see sometimes they have earn by time, different things like that. Well, right now we have one going on, and there's your first 4 trips, you complete them, you get $10 extra. You complete 2 more trips, you get an extra $11. Complete 1 more trip, you get an extra $10. You complete 3 more trips, you get an extra $22.
wow.
So if you complete 10 trips, you get an extra $53.
And is that time specific or
each quest is different. This one is from 5 p.m. to 8:59 p.m. So 9 o'clock.
Oh, okay,
And
gotcha.
right after, like as soon as this one's done, from 9 to midnight, they have another one, but it's a lower amount. It's like 3 trips, $8, 1 trip, $6, another trip, $6, another trip, $10, because that's when the volume goes down. And
I'm gonna have to look that up because I may have to change at least 1 or 2 nights, and because
it's almost always in the evening.
Evening time, right?
Yep.
That's what I thought.
But for example, tomorrow night, there's no quest. There's a quest tomorrow at 2 p.m., probably 2 to 5 if I want to look. And then there's one at midnight tomorrow night. I'm not doing that, obviously. But then Friday, 5 trips, $13. 2 trips, $12. 2 trips, $14. 2 trips, $19. So you get, if you do is 11 trips in those 4 hours, you're going to get what, 20, 33, 42, over $50, almost $60 just in free money.
Yeah.
Because you're doing them anyway. That's the thing. Like,
yeah.
What I noticed is when I take Uber orders, I don't take Uber orders unless they're almost 2 to 1 miles to money. And my acceptance rate hovers around 5 to 10%. It's very low. And because where I live, I get a ton of orders wanting me to go into Philadelphia. And that means I got to pay $6 to go over the bridge. And right. I can't get an order until I come back. No, that's not happening. So even if they repay, like they reimburse me, I'm still not doing it. So you're going to take higher, obviously the 2 to 1. But when I get these quests, I'll take 1 to 1. I'll take that $5 for 5 miles if it is going to ding the next tier. So if it's my 4th one out of 4, I'll say, all right, do I want to?
I see what you're
because
saying.
I'm adding $10 to that 5, or I'm
Right.
adding $12 to that 5, but I still will try to say, all right, now, and I will also double dip. I'll also take the DoorDash and the Uber Eats at the same time, as long as they work together.
Right.
Obviously they got to be close restaurant, close destination.
See, the beauty, like I said, I don't know what it is to dash in the car, but on a bike, the beauty about the bike, I never get an order more than 4 miles. So I don't care if they're in the opposite direction. I'm
Mhm.
taking it because I can cover that distance and I
Yeah.
can cover the time. It's and super easy when I'm one of my fast bikes. Like
Yeah.
today when I went dashing, I took my YR20, which it's not super fast. The top speed on that is 30. And the speedometer says 38, but in reality it's 35 miles an hour. So when I'm on that bike, I sometimes won't risk taking 2 to 3 orders at a time. But if I'm in my goat bikes or in the wired or in the
Yeah. You got a
magician,
little bit margin for error there.
oh my god! Especially if I'm on like those three bikes, that go 50 plus miles an hour. I'm taking 3 or 4 orders at a time because I know I'm going to make my cutoff time.
Hmm.
Uh, and then the other thing that I've learned with the apps, especially in the area where I do it, because all the restaurants are like in one area, if I show up to a restaurant and the food isn't ready, I'll like, okay, I'll be right back. I'll go pick up the
Yep.
other order and then
Hmm.
they'll get back and still have plenty of time to get
Yeah.
everything.
We
I
have a
just have
couple of
to,
different zones like that.
yeah. Sometimes for me, I'll get a shop order and a food order, and just depends on the number of items. Because if it's a lot of items, sometimes it takes me, I don't, especially I don't regularly shop, right? So I'm not very apt in going into a supermarket and actually finding an item. It takes me a little bit to find it. And if it doesn't say it on the app, because sometimes on the app it'll tell you it's on aisle 1, you go to aisle 3. Uh, but sometimes, man, to find a specific item takes me way too long. So that's the only time once I get a shop order and it's a high paying shop order, then I'll turn everything off because I'll just concentrate on that shop order. But
You do a lot of shop orders?
I do a lot of them. Way
I
too,
used to. I don't do them anymore.
yeah, way too many for my liking, to be honest. The problem is they pay a lot. Like my average shop order, I'm making about $10 per order, and I'm only going 2 or 3 miles. But the problem is, um, if if I get a specific item that's hard to find, I'm wasting 5, 10 minutes trying to find one stupid item.
That's
Uh,
why I stopped doing them.
yeah.
I,
Uh,
I was used to, I remember it was probably about a year and a half ago, maybe a little bit longer. We had a Dollar General that's really like I pass it all the time in my deliveries. And I'm telling you, I'd get bangers all the time from there. It'd be like 3 items, $17, too
yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Constantly I'd get them. And I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. Why is everybody not doing this? And then all of a sudden it was like 22 items, $6, 12 miles. I'm like, what? And it was just constantly bad, bad, bad. I'm like, no, it got to the point where it dropped my acceptance rate so much because I was unassigning and like, no, or canceling. I mean, just nope, don't want this. Just nope, don't want this. I was like, no, I can't do this. And I just turned it off.
Yeah, I've gotten lucky. I've unassigned orders because when I get there, it may be 6 items and I'm not looking at the item, and I'll get there and the items are humongous, and I don't
Yeah.
have I just have my backpack.
Mhm.
So I you know I can finagle certain things because I do have bungee cords and all that. But sometimes I'll get there and I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want a case of water and a couple of liters of Coke and a 5 pound bag of dog food. Forget it. I'll just unassign it. But I don't get a lot of those, so it's not too bad.
We get a lot of your shopping orders here. It's what are they doing? Their monthly shop? Like that's the type of thing you're getting.
Yeah, yeah. See, I don't get that. I mean, like I said, I've been very lucky.
You do
You know
mostly
what?
morning shift, right?
I only do the morning shift.
Yeah, I think that's probably why. Because if I was to do the morning shift, I think it'd be totally different. The only time I do morning is on the weekends.
Yeah. I don't think I've only done the morning shift. I've done a couple of lunch shifts, um, but like I said, I'm going to experiment during this next 20 days because I need to make sure I get my number, and I may not be able to do it just on the morning shift.
Oh, I just had a good thought. Since you have a couple scheduled days, do a morning shift and then do an evening shift. Make that your day.
Yeah, that's what I'm playing around. That's why I want to see this Quest thing because I may do my morning shift, and then do 2 hours in the morning, and then come out in the evening and during that Quest thing do 2 hours in the evening. To try to get my numbers. Now, if I have my number after the 2 hours, then I'm not going to worry about that. But I know I got a feeling like today. In fact, let's talk about our numbers. I only did one. I'll go first. So today I rode. Where did I put it at? I thought I put this someplace. Today I rode 2 hours and like 8 minutes. Here it is. I rode 2 hours and 8 minutes. I made $44.35. So I'm about $5 and what is that? 65 cents off from getting 50. So that means tomorrow I got to make up that $5. So I got to make at least $55 tomorrow. So tomorrow may be a day where, well, number one, I'm going to take out my faster bike tomorrow, so I can move faster. So I'm going to take out my faster bike, and then I'm going to do the morning shift. And then if I'm not super close to making my goals, then I'm going to try the evening shift because I know for sure I can do it in the evening because the orders are bigger and there's going to be more money in it. I just never like to ride at night, but I'll bite the bullet for this challenge and I'll get that so I can get my $55. Or I'll stay for 4 hours. If I stay for 4 hours, I know for sure I'll hit my money. Most of the time when I'm doing 4 hours, I'll make between $75 and $100 in a 4-hour shift. But the problem for me is that takes me from, because I normally ride from 7 to 3, with 1 hour of getting to my zone. Because now I'm not, my zone is where my house is, but my house is under construction. So I'm in my other property. So I ride about 30 minutes to get to my zone before I turn on my apps, like you mentioned. Because where I'm at now, there's no way I'm dashing here because this is downtown Fort Lauderdale. We have high rises. I'm not going up and down.
Yeah, man. You might make that money though. You should try one shift and see.
I mean, I might towards the end.
If you once you hit 1,000, try one shift and see.
Yeah, I might try that. I just
you may realize, oh my God, it's like I just found a gem.
No, I know I can make some money. The problem is we have, I'm sure like where you live, there's like fucking super ass high rises, and to find the apartment sometimes is difficult. You got to go to security. They got to show them your stuff. Then you got to wait for the elevator.
Yeah. I'm blessed because I'm not going in the city. I don't have to deal with that.
Yeah.
If for me, all I'd have to do is I have to climb 3 flights of stairs occasionally, but that's not the end of the world.
So where I normally dash, it's all residential homes.
It's probably just like where I live.
Yeah, and most of them is leave it in the front of the house. So just leave it, take the picture, go, get on the next one.
Yep.
So that's
the only negative is it seems like everywhere, like every hotspot near me, is on a major highway. 6-lane highway, 8-lane highway, or 2 4-lane highways that cross intersect. It's crazy. So like that's the downside. My backyard is a 6-lane highway.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I wasn't kidding. By 15 minutes from Center City.
Wow. Yeah. See, unfortunately, we don't have that. So I don't have to deal with that. And
you also don't have 38-degree weather either. So I'm
right. I was about to say, like, now you guys are freezing up there. It's beautiful up here. 70 degrees, so it's really nice.
70.
So all right, let's end this.
You want my numbers for today?
Yeah, give us your numbers.
37.53 on DoorDash, 19.62 on Uber Eats, 57.15. So far I'm at 193.14 in 2 days.
God, dog, you're killing it. You're gonna hit that mark easy. I mean,
I would have made $100 tonight easy, but I came home to come talk to you.
Yeah. Well, I
Because
appreciate
I only did one order. I only did one order tonight on Uber. I would have done that whole quest tonight.
Anyway, that's awesome. Great. Congratulations. Great start to the challenge. Thank you for challenging me to hop on this. Like I said,
where's everybody else, man? You guys need to get in this too.
Yeah. There's a bunch of people. The problem is, like I mentioned before, I talked to a couple of the guys. They did this in November so that they can take December off. So,
okay. You know what? Then we'll have to talk offline and come up with something that we can do in the spring.
Yes, I like
spring,
that.
Like a spring break or spring fling or something. We'll have to come up with something.
We will. We'll come up with something. But all right, brother. Have a good night.
You too. See everybody later.
Kill it, and then we will see you guys again next Tuesday. Next Tuesday we'll get back on.
Yep.
And
sounds good.
We'll give you the update of where we are. Anyway,
all
love
right.
you guys. Don't forget, ride, hustle, repeat. See you guys next time.
See ya.